dismissed Venezuelan prosecutor Luisa Ortega requested that exiled judges of Venezuela's Supreme Court of Justice issue an international arrest warrant against Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro for allegedly receiving bribes from Brazilian company Odebrecht. Prosecutor Ortega handed over proof against Maduro to the exiled judges. Ortega fled to Colombia last year after breaking away from the Maduro government. The Brazilian company Odebrecht admitted to paying bribes across 12 countries to win contracts. U.S. Senator Patrick Leahy led a congressional delegation in Havana as part of a fact-finding trip to Cuba at a time of heightened US-Cuban tensions. A mysterious spate of illnesses were reported among U.S. diplomats in Havana, leading to partial rollback of the detente between the two countries. Since August last year, tensions between the two countries have increased further over a series of alleged attacks affecting the health of U.S. diplomats in Havana. Eurogroup President Mario Centino has said that Greece is close to receiving a new disbursement of loans from its Eurozone creditors after having completed most of the required reforms. Centino said Greece completed 108 out of 110 actions required to receive the money. Nicholas Cruz, the 17-year-old accused of the deadly shooting rampage at a Florida high school, returned to court on Monday for a status hearing. Cruz is facing 17 counts of premeditated murder after the attack last Wednesday at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School in Parkland. It is the deadliest shooting ever at a U.S. high school. The judge hearing the case has ruled that the defense motion be sealed from public viewing. Several dozen high school students from in and around Washington, D.C. staged a lion demonstration in front of the White House to protest against gun violence in schools. Some teachers also attended the protest and said they felt compelled to come out following last week's shooting in Parkland, which left 17 people dead, including 14 students. Students in South Florida held a demonstration to push for stronger gun laws, challenging politicians they said have failed to protect them as the protest was taking place on Monday. Friends of family were attending the funeral of two students, Luke Hoyer, who was 15 years old, and Alina Petty, who was 14 years old. Latvia's anti-corruption agency released central bank governor Ilmars Rimsevics from custody after accusing him of soliciting a bribe. Rimsevics was arrested on Saturday on suspicion of having solicited a €100,000 bribe. Neither the police nor the anti-corruption authority have given details of the alleged request for a bribe. Peru's President Pedro Pablo Kuczynski has rejected new calls for his resignation by the opposition. Kuczynski says the calls for his resignation are being promoted by a communist group because he pardoned Alberto Fujimori. Fujimori is the former president of Peru and was serving a 25-year sentence for human rights abuses and corruption. Kuczynski stopped a bid to oust him in December of last year. German Chancellor Angela Merkel and Dutch Prime Minister Mark Rutte got together to discuss matters of an upcoming meeting of the EU Commission later in the evening. Merkel said that they will discuss their first ideas of the financial framework for the upcoming weeks as well as the current international situation in general. The Dutch Prime Minister stressed the good relationship his country shares with Germany and said he was happy to continue working with Angela Merkel. A mass funeral was held in the southern city of Basra for 16 Shiite fighters who were killed in an ambush by Islamic State near the northern city of Kirkuk. Islamic State terrorists ambushed a convoy of pro-government fighters near the northern Iraqi city of Kirkuk last on Sunday, killing at least 27 of them. Iraqi forces launched an operation this month to consolidate control of a mountainous area near Kirkuk. Two armed groups are active in the area. Iraq declared victory in December of 2017 over Islamic State. However, ISIS continues to carry out attacks and bombings in Baghdad and other parts of Iraq. A new British party inspired by French President Emmanuel Macron movement launched a campaign on Monday to overturn Brexit by convincing ministers to block any EU withdrawal deal Prime Minister Theresa May can strike. With just over 13 months left until Britain is due to leave the EU, opponents of Brexit are exploring ways to stop what they call Britain's biggest mistake since World War II. The Renew Party, founded by an accountant, a former journalist and a consultant, plans to contest seats in the upcoming local elections in May and all 650 parliamentary seats if there is an election. Oxfam has formally apologized to the Haitian government over allegations of sexual exploitation by its staff. The apology was made as Oxfam finally released the findings of its investigation into the behavior of relief workers sent to Haiti in the aftermath of the earthquake in 2010. The report released by Oxfam said 3 Oxfam employees were involved in physically threatening and intimidating a witness who spoke to the investigators. 4 staff members were fired for gross misconduct and 3 others were allowed to quit. Details of the Haiti scandal surfaced earlier this month. Asia's largest military exercise, called the Cobra Gold, is drawing attention for the various jungle survival skills the participants have to go develop. The military exercise involves 10 days of field training on the shores of Thailand, where participants have to learn to survive on snake blood and eating snake meat. Thai military trainers also taught the group, which included South Korean troops, how to remove venom from scorpions and tarantulas before eating them, find water in the jungle vines, and identify edible plants. The small Greek town of Galaxidi celebrated the end of their carnival by throwing handfuls of colored flour at each other. The annual tradition draws many tourists to the Greek town. The tradition goes back decades and is believed to have originated in 1801 during the Ottoman occupation of Greece, when Galaxidi residents defied their Ottoman rulers by celebrating the carnival, which was forbidden, and painting their faces with ash. Thousands gathered on the shores of the Mediterranean in southern France to be pelted with flowers at the annual carnival. The event is dubbed as Naval Battle by organizers, with flowers launched at the crowds on the quay side from the traditional wooden fishing boats. The traditional wooden fishing boats were this year loaded with 30,000 carnations and 600 kilograms of mimosas.